Islam Moors. Oh, sorry, just hit the light. Let's start up with the prayer. Face the east, that way. 5 on the left, 2 on the right. Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
Father of love.
Father of love.
Truth.
Truth.
Peace.
Peace.
Freedom.
Freedom.
And justice.
And justice.
Allah is my protector.
Allah is my protector.
My guide.
My guide.
And my salvation.
And my salvation.
By night.
By night.
And by day.
And by day.
With Holy Prophet.
With Holy Prophet.
Noble Drew Ali.
Noble Drew Ali.
Islam.
Islam.
Ashe. We'll start up with our readings to be read every meeting. A warning from the Prophet. I hereby inform all members that they must put an end to all radical and agitating speeches while on their jobs, homes, or on the public streets. We advocate peace and not destruction. Stop trying out your cards with the Europeans, for it causes confusion. There has been much confusion caused by members trying out their cards. The cards are for your salvation. Failure of obeying my orders will be of severe consequence. We are for love, truth, peace, freedom, and when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any member or group of members that seek to hold malicious feelings toward the temple or the prophet or to violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors must obey the laws laid down to them by their prophet, and if they lose confidence in their prophet, give up your card and button, cease wearing your turban or fez, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. For this is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet Noble Drew Ali. If the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet is sending out a divine plea to all true Moorish Americans that they may do their part in protecting their temple. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways. To the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Islam, these are the instructions from your prophet Noble Drew Ali. Be faithful unto your forefathers' divine and national creed, that you will be blessed for your good deeds that you sow in the flesh. Allah is the one that judges the world, and his judgment is now on, but the weak comprehend it not. The end of time is drawing near. So says Allah to his divine prophet, I, Noble Drew Ali. And that is why many hearts have turned to stone, and many have eyes to see but cannot see, ears to hear but cannot hear, lest they would be confounded of their sins. These are trying hours now, dear Moors, and every evil spirit is moving, and they are trying every weak mind to overthrow and drag out the true foundation that has been laid down, and to cause confusion in the minds of the ones that do believe. But if you have the true love of Allah and the spirit of your foremothers or forefathers, you fear not what you hear or see, but you will sacrifice the utmost of your very life to protect your prophet and your movement. Watch your enemies, dear Moors. Your enemies are the ones that speak against your prophet and ridicule him to the very lowest, and the ones that speak against your divine and national principles of your temples. Act accordingly, and Allah will bless you for your good work. Peace, your divine prophet Noble Drew Ali. To be proclaimed in every meeting. Islam, I am glad to know that I have a few faithful Moors among you all, and I desire for them to know the truth and the divine truth. There is a host of jealousy about me and the movement now by the same people on our side of the nation that claim it was only a joke and unreal. But now, since they have found out from the government officials and the nations of the earth that this is the only sole foundation that all Asiatics must depend upon for their earthly salvation as American citizens, they are working every scheme that they can to disqualify me, so they themselves may take charge of the situation. I have notified all these things to you long ago in the past. It is through the faithful Moors that attribute to the movement and uplifting funds. The ones that paid their divine respect to me and the movement will be remembered. That is why I am calling upon all faithful Moors to increase their faithfulness to me, your prophet, and your divine Moorish movement. I need finance, and I need it badly. Never before have I needed finance so badly as I do at present, so I can shove aside the discord that is facing the nation. It all comes through jealousy, because of my fame and nobility. The nations of the world will not recognize the movement without I, the prophet, being head. It has been proven by my works, which I have performed in the last few years. Islam. So today is we also want to Islam to the Moors online. Today is Freestyle Sunday, so we're going to be opening the floor for questions today. Whatever questions, whatever pertaining to people who are in the chat. If you have questions, please email them to Canaanland Guide at gmail.com. CANAANGUIDE at gmail.com. So we'll open up. Anybody got questions? Anything whatsoever? Doesn't matter what it has to do with. You heard something, watching a video, heard some clown say something about Noble Drawley, prophet, you need verification. To start though, what I will touch on is we're going to be going into this in depth in Tuesday's class, but one thing that we want to address is the kidnapping of Moors. Right? The kidnapping of Moors. Because there's when it comes to the information about Noble Drawley, the Moorish movement, if you're a student, you realize that there appears to be a lot of confusion in the Moorish movement, right? People who are against what Moors are doing are using the confusion that is out there as a means to show people, see, the Moors, they don't have their stuff together or whatever like that, so don't get down with that, come on over here, right, with some stateless stuff that they're doing, right? One of the tools that they're using is propaganda, right? These are the, like we called them out already, the Black Conscious Mental Wrestling Federation guys, right? All the guys who debating all the time about stuff, they debate forever and solve nothing. They debate forever, but all of them pay IRS if IRS says you owe money. All of them pay those tickets that those Europeans put on their car or whatever like that, pull them over and all that stuff like that. They never challenged anybody, right? All of them continue to push this black as an identity when people cannot be adjectives. Period. Nothing to discuss, nothing to talk about. It was a fraud when they capitalized black and said black is a noun. That's a fraud in language. That's not a European thing. Language is universal. Parts of speech is in every language. And nobody else in the world identifies themselves as shades or colors or things that are adjectives. Only people that do that is Negro, black, colored people in North America. That's the only people in the entire world that identify themselves by colors. So these individuals are going to look at a Moor got arrested and say, see, the Moors, because look, they got arrested, right? Now, there's a big difference. There's a big difference between arrest and detain. Big difference, right? Arrest happens to stateless people. So when you have Moors that say, yeah, I'm Moor, but then they got license, blah, 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 whatever, right? No reservation of rights. No reservation of rights on that contract, right? Now again, put it on the record. Active Moors, nationalized Moors. We are not against contracts. We contract every day on multiple different levels. We contract, right? We are not against contracts. What we are telling people is that you have to learn how to live within contracts. It's imperative that we learn how to live within contracts. Give thanks, fam. Right? If we don't know how to learn to live within contracts, then we will be raped all the time. The first lesson that coming into this information that we're supposed to apply before you start going out there and want to learn the right to travel and you want to learn how to not pay taxes and you want to learn to do all this other stuff, the first thing that you're supposed to know is reserve your rights anytime you sign your name from the point of knowing that you're not Negro, black, colored. Why? Because if you don't reserve your rights on contracts, the contract that you just signed is how they're going to create color of law to abuse you. Everything that we do, every single thing that we do, if they say sign here, you should be reserving your rights on it. If you're not reserving your rights on it, don't worry. A little while down the road, they're going to be coming at you. And you're not going to have any defense. Because if you didn't reserve your rights, don't think you're going to stand up and say, hey, I'm more or whatever like that when you didn't reserve your rights. Because they are going to use that contract against you. Which is why you reserve your rights. Because the concept of learning to live within contracts lets us know that there's things about contracts that we need to know. And the laws that govern contracts, a law that govern contracts is that all parties have to sign it. There's no contract that we ever signed that somebody else signed it when we signed. We're always the only idiots just put our name down. And not even asking the other guy, hey, how come you're not? So we said there's a contract for whatever. Credit card contract, mortgage contract, whatever. You never asked that other guy to sign? We're the only ones signing all the time? No questions asked? Right? So, reservation of rights would mean that they could only detain you, not arrest you. So if you have a license contract and your rights are not reserved on it, don't be talking about you know the law to some guy that comes out of, a vehicle with uniform on or whatever like that, has a gun and all that type of stuff, and you don't reserve your rights talking about you know law and stuff like that. You're not winding the window down. They will bust your window in, pull you out, arrest you, hold you for a little bit, just, because you want to talk shit or whatever, and maybe let you go when, they feel like it. Just because. Once you don't do this, once you don't reserve your rights on the contract, you're liable. When you reserve your rights, you're not liable. Because you're reserving your right to challenge them. You're reserving your right to pull your own gun on them if you got one. You're reserving your right to pop him one in the face and run so you can get away because these guys are criminals or whatever like that. And you see the pattern of them shooting people in the street, so you know that they're not playing. They stop people on the street. You could lose your life by these people. It's not a game out here. People think it's a game going marching and picketing and stuff like that. There's no game out here. These people choke people out on the corner. These people stopped and lined people up. Waited while they ran and shit like that to shoot them. You think they're just doing that just because they feel like it? We just do that. They're doing that because No reservation of rights. And because it's been 102 years since Noble Drew Ali came and told these idiots out here that they're not Negro black colored, and they still want to be Negro black colored 102 years later, then the European is handling the Negro problem how they feel to handle it. And they know that Negro, black, and colored are adjectives, so obviously these people have zero rights. Sis.
Yeah, would it be that the Europeans are doing that to the Negro black color because they now don't want to go into slavery?
The Europeans don't want to go into slavery?
Yeah, in the sense that there's supposed to be a reverse, right?
Right, yeah. You can look at it like that.
Yes.
Yeah,
So-
you can look at it like
they're
that.
keeping us still ignorant because if they know that the Negro
If we
black
get
are-
smart,
yeah.
then they become ignorant.
There we go.
Yeah,
Right.
when we say that we're Moors,
Yeah.
not Negro black colored,
Right.
then now they become the Negro black colored because
Right.
black means pale,
Right.
Negro's a monkey.
Yeah.
Darwin told them that, we came, they have the picture of the monkey and then the
Right,
caveman and then they have the European just walking or whatever like that.
Right.
What are they telling people?
Exactly, because if you notice the
On
Chinese,
Planet of the Apes?
right, the
Right.
Chinese, you see the baby that not coming, you see the baby that just that baby the baby that just
Yeah,
born,
yeah, right.
They name her that
Yeah,
name,
the same
and
name,
the
yeah.
Chinese name the monkey.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And they made them apologize
Oh, they did. Yeah.
for naming the monkey the name of the royal baby or whatever.
Oh, I didn't know
But
that.
nobody's not picking up on that because people don't think or whatever like that. They rather debate about which is better, Kemet or Islam and all that stupid stuff. When there's things going on in the world, letting these people know what's going on.
Right. So the Chinese are telling us that the baby is monkey, but we're not picking up on it.
But again, why? Why are they putting this out there? Because the politics is changing.
Yeah.
Everybody in the world knows that the European doesn't have that power that they had when they went Belgium and whatever like that. When they went to Congo and they went over here and they carved up Africa, Berlin Conference. All the days over.
Yeah.
They're not doing that no more. Time's over for that because they don't have any political power. Because Europeans are saying we don't want to be UDADA citizens anymore. Not just other people, not just governments of the world saying we're not doing business with them. Europeans who are down with the Mayflower Pilgrim and whatever, Mormon come over here and let's go to America, land of the whatever like that, under this new government, United States and whatever stuff like that. They're saying we don't want nothing to do with that anymore because all these people do is go around the world try to force democracy on everybody, kill other people, kill whatever, kill this people, kill that people, but then people here they're not taken care of. Europeans we're talking about. Europeans are on welfare. There are more Europeans on welfare than Asiatics.
That's true.
They're not considering that. They're not considering that, like we were saying, the European is becoming the new nigger.
Yeah.
They're dissolving the middle class. There's no middle class as far as, classism, high class, low class, middle class, whatever. There ain't no middle class anymore.
Exactly.
Middle class people can't pay their mortgage. And they're killing their whole family.
Yeah.
That's nigger mentality.
Right.
That's not a thinking individual.
Right.
You're gonna kill your whole family because you can't pay a mortgage?
Right.
No, you just get an apartment.
Right. They can't do it because they don't know how to do it.
Right?
Right?
So this is where it's at right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So just to bring up, right? So again, Negro black color adjectives. So they have no rights.
Right.
Okay? They don't have knowledge of how to reserve their rights on a contract. So, when you look at, find me a Chinese guy, got pulled out of a car, got his ass kicked by some officer, so-called officer. Find me the only individual that something happened to was the old Indian man who they tackled or whatever. But they thought he was a black man. That's why they tackled him. He's walking around a community that's a European community or whatever like that. And somebody looked out the window and said, oh, a black guy. There's a black guy walking around the neighborhood, I don't know who he is, and they tackled him. Later on, they found out he's from India. And then all of a sudden, nobody's not talking about that no more. Because now if they talk about that, they're going to have to talk about how much they paid him out. Because, you know, he's a national. He's not Negro, black, colored. He's not adjective. He's a noun. International law applies to him, not colored statutes and acts. And then to start talking about that, then they're going to have to show a picture of him with the check, you know, right? And then everybody's going to see that he's darker than everybody else in this room, but he's from India, but he doesn't call himself black. But then he got tackled only. He only got tackled, you know what I mean? Ain't nothing really big, you know. He only got tackled, but they paid him out. And then these people getting shot up, choked out on the corner, on camera, with evidence. Guys on the camera, like, yeah, I did it. You know, I'm the guy that choked out the guy or whatever like that. And then he's off work with pay still. Nobody, no, you guys not paying out these Negro, black, colored families of people that you killed?
Remember, according to the Negro black color, they have no rights. So
Exactly. So they don't get
so they
any
won't get
compensation,
nothing.
no
Exactly.
remedy, no
remedy,
recourse.
No remedy.
You just keep marching up and down the place,
Yeah, no remedy.
burning your own stuff down.
Yeah.
Never burn down a precinct, never burn down a police station,
Yeah.
never burn a police car unless it's parked with nobody in it and
Yeah.
nobody around.
Yeah.
But, you know, they know something.
So
They know themselves.
You know how you just said that the black, Negro, and the color, and you said it's the Indian guy, right? So what is happening now, in other words, what they did to him, they're excusing him because that whatever they're doing to us don't apply to them.
Right.
But they just make a mistake because of the identity of too black.
Right. Yeah.
So
Right.
I see the corruption. So we really, in ourselves, have to rise to a higher conscience in the sense that we have to change stuff.
That's why Noble Drew Ali came.
Exactly what it is.
Yeah, we have
That's
to
why
rise
Noble
to
Drew
a
Ali
higher
came and
conscience.
told the Moors
Yeah.
that you're not Negro, black,
Black
colored, so you
colored.
can raise yourself onto the plane of national citizens all across the world.
Right.
So, for example, to back up your point, what you're saying, I was talking with a Moor earlier today. So he goes into Toys R Us to go buy some stuff for his son or whatever, right? So he goes into Toys R Us or whatever, picks out the stuff, puts down nationality card, European at the desk or whatever, you know, hey, where are you from or whatever, you know, having a little conversation, blah, 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 right? Europeans telling him, after he made purchases and all that stuff, oh, I forgot to take the taxes off. Could you bring, you know, the receipt back later? We'll take the taxes off later, no problem. You know what I mean? Just bring the stuff back, and we'll take off the stuff. Goes back now, European now, oh, yeah, I remember you from last time. You know, how you doing? You had a nice conversation, blah blah. You know, you bring the stuff back so I can take the taxes off of your stuff.
Yeah.
Why is she going over and beyond the call of duty to make sure he gets his taxes off? This is European.
They don't want too many people know what's going on.
Because they know what's up.
Yeah.
And once you act in your official capacity
Yeah.
as somebody who's a national,
Yeah.
not Negro, black, colored, African American, African Canadian, pretending that you know yourself, you know what I mean? And you got this dashiki on, I know myself because I wear dashiki, but you actually name your name is Fred. Obviously you don't know yourself.
Yeah.
Everybody who looks like us should be putting down something, and just like the brother was saying, he doesn't even have a nationality card. And he's telling them verbally, you can't give me taxes. And they're like, oh, all right, and don't charge him tax.
It was funny last night. I went to pay for the hotel room, and they wouldn't accept me. And said, no, they needed papers, and then they finally did when I told them I'm going to talk to my consulate, whatever, and, you know. So after we let it all go through, he said, I noticed that she had charged me tax. I'm just so happy to get it moved. You know, I go, oh, but you charged me tax on this. He goes, oh, sorry. And I said, you know what? Since you do,
Yeah,
don't worry about it.
You can get a pass.
Don't worry about it this time.
You get a pass.
Okay. I'm just get a little quick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you get a pass because you pick your battles. You know what I mean? You're not gonna, you couldn't get the room first
Right.
because you didn't have any ID or whatever. How much people could go into now check the dynamics, right? Really check the dynamics, right? Individual doesn't have any ID whatsoever, zero ID, right? Zero ID, peace man, goes into uh, a hotel, not just a store or whatever, hotel where they request ID from people.
That's right on the contract.
Says that you need to show ID. He goes into a hotel with no ID, right? Verbally lets them know that, consulate, there's one you call consulate, you guys want to be room, you got vacancies all over the place. They say, well, let's pick our battles. Let's really look at this, go in the back. Let's have a conversation or whatever. Okay, guy doesn't have any ID, but he's saying that he's going to go tell the consulate or whatever that we didn't give him a room and all that type of stuff. It's probably in our best interest, just give the guy the room. You know what I mean? He has the fiat. It's not like he doesn't have.
As soon as they said to me they're not going to do it, I said, okay, I need your name, and CEO of this,
Right.
supervisor's not here. I said, I don't need him. He's the supervisor. I mean, the CEO of this.
CEO. You don't need supervisor, manager. CEO.
I think that I didn't do mean with them. I just talked nice.
Yeah, just talk. Right.
Very calm.
Right.
Very calm.
Right. Intelligent tone. Got the room. Got the room to the point where, well, I really shouldn't be in the room because I don't have. I mean, they could have just said no, get the hell out of here, bomb or whatever like that. But they gave me the room. Now you're gonna go now, push them about, take the taxes off or whatever. Now they kick you out, and now you're complaining about stuff when you had the room. You already got the pass or whatever with no ID, nothing. Just pick your battle. A majority of our people, they don't pick battle. They want battle all the time with these people. You don't need to battle anything. Don't need to go that far.
What's the battle go for when your bills attached to your account?
When?
You said they're complaining about taxes. They already got to the...
No, because with his situation, he got a room without any ID.
Okay.
Not showing anything, just verbally talking about being a Moor.
That's what's supposed to happen.
Right, right.
All diplomats are
Yeah, but they show something though.
Mm-hmm.
They have to show something that they're a diplomat.
But
or they would have had to call or whatever like that.
He knows what's up.
Right? Because he knows he can speak on it.
Mm-hmm.
But in him speaking on it, they even gave him the pass.
Mm-hmm.
Just by talking, not even going in the pocket showing the ID.
Exactly.
Right? Because he knows what's up. Right? And energy. Frequency. He knows something's different. Just like with the brother at Toys R Us. Lady so something's different about you. Where are you from?
But they don't need to ask that question because by them looking at the melanin of our skin, they know who we are, but they want us to identify who we are.
Exactly.
So that is why that he didn't have a problem because they know who we are.
He knows who he because but he knows who he is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When he verbalizes
right. Once he verbalizes it.
Yeah.
Right.
The person knows that he's
right.
telling
That
the
he
truth.
knows what's up.
Right.
Right. He's not classified as Negro black colored.
Right.
Which is what they go on in order to arrest.
Yes.
Right? Give a ticket.
Right.
Taxes, whatever. They assume that we're corporate people.
Right.
So if you're a corporate person, then taxes apply to you, licenses apply to you, and whatever else that the European created in this land that he never created nowhere else.
Yeah.
You go check. Go to China. You're not going to see a European ministry of whatever giving people licenses in China. Okay. You're not going to go to Japan and see a European ministry of whatever giving people health cards. You're not going to go anywhere that Europeans not from, and they're running government there. Right? Nowhere in the world. Only in North America.
Given to them, so they believe that they have rights. So no, we have to fight it for our rights because that was named to us and
Right.
But I think
The Bible.
I think they haven't recognized that we understand state policies. We don't understand the difference between state policies and municipal, and all these private.
Right? And why do they think that? Because it's been 102 years since we've been told that we're not Negro, black, colored people.
But
Officially on the record. There's post, there's pre-Noble Drew Ali information about the Moors in America. There's information before Noble Drew Ali about Moors in America not paying tax, not going to court, not going. There's not nothing new.
yes.
He just put it on the record as an official fact and tied it to these individuals called or classified as Negro, black, colored people. Nobody else did that. Nobody else never came to the so-called Asiatics and told them, you're not Negro, black, colored people. You're Moors. Everybody else just talks about Moors from, just a perspective of history. That there's these people called the Moors, and the Moors did this, but they never told these people, yo, you guys are those people.
Because the dark age, they were trying to hide all these.
No, I'm talking about Asiatics. I'm talking about our people.
Oh, okay.
Even our people are hiding it from our own people.
Yeah, our people are hiding it from our people.
Right?
They
They were getting money out of
Yeah,
it.
exactly. Because they're gonna tell them capitalize B, capitalize the N, and not
Sure.
make black people be recognized. Capitalize. What do you mean capitalize?
Right.
You take chair, capitalize chair. It's still a chair. Whether you capitalize it or not, it's a chair,
Sad.
right? You got comment, question?
I was going to say that my wife put in birth certificate for my little son. She filled out the papers.
Speak up.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, my wife put in filed for the birth certificate for my middle son and reserved the rights on the paper. And they sent it back twice. Said she can't do that.
Yeah. Which is a lesson, right? For us to know that we don't need their stuff.
Right.
That's what they're saying.
Exactly.
They're not against reserving rights or whatever like that. They're saying if you got enough knowledge, why don't you just create your own stuff? Put it in your holy book. But they can't tell it like that.
Yeah.
Because they tell it like that, then they give the game up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That you don't need it.
But also, she has a national ID.
Yeah. But again, you know what I mean? Your wife, she's national
She is
from somewhere else. But by her visually, we can see that she's not Negro, black, colored.
Right.
You know what I mean? She comes from some nation that has consulate around here. Guaranteed they got consulate here. You know what I mean? To protect their citizens, being in foreign land. Right? Even on that level. Even I'm sure the name on the birth certificate.
Yeah.
Let them know.
Yeah.
I don't think
Exactly.
we need to give them one.
Well,
Because-
you're right. You're right.
But they're not gonna tell them.
But they can't tell it like that. Once they tell it,
Yeah.
once they say
That's-
you don't need a birth certificate because the name that your child isn't from this land or whatever like that, and we don't really have jurisdiction to give you a birth certificate because the name that you're using is counter our policy. Because we can only make a profit off European names. We can't make a profit off Asiatic names, capitalize the Asiatic names. There's no profit. We can enslave you still, but we're not going to make no profit, which defeats the purpose of enslaving. And ties them to international war crimes because, they're capitalizing a national name that they really shouldn't, be messing with like that. So it's our perspective of how we're looking at, that's what we're saying about picking the battles. You know what I mean? But then, you got Moors that they're going to go fight them. But you need to accept it because I reserve my rights on it, and you need to take the... What do you mean? They told you that? You don't have to do it with them. What are you arguing about? How about just make your own birth certificate got seals right here. Seal it, fold it up, put it in your Quran, and do like how grandmother, grandfather used to do before there was hospitals and birth certificates and stuff like that. Because my grandparents never had no birth certificates.
How do you figure that out? I need to know, like, how does that work?
Well, I mean, well, being that you're younger, your grandparents are, one generation up from you, so they got certificates and stuff.
Oh, yeah, true.
Right?
But what if
But
they're-
older people, like my parents' parents,
Oh, okay.
they wouldn't have had any birth
They want us
certificates
to believe that
that they did as well.
Oh, okay, I understand. So this is just like a metaphysical enslavement just by the birth certificate.
Just by the birth
That's
certificate.
it. So anybody that was in those lodges or whatever in Jamaica or in Trinidad or whatever it was Scottish food, right? They're keeping the information from the public.
Right. I mean, yeah, they're keeping it away, but they're not really
Well, yeah, they're not
keeping
really,
it away
but
because when if you look at somebody who has family that's in the lodge, right? The family knows that guy's in the lodge. It's not a secret in the family. Like, uncle whatever, there's something about him that, was very secretive or whatever. They know, oh yeah, you go to the lodge right down there. You know what I mean? He's got the cupboard right there, the cupboard, and then you got the fez up there and everything.
yeah, but like my uncle,
Right?
he's trying to tell my whole family that he's not a part of the lodge, right? Because I told my family that my great grandfather, he was obviously a part of the Air Force Federation because that's Constitution. And you know what I mean? To be a part of the Constitution, you have to know law, and the Constitution is part of parcel of the land, right?
Right.
And he has land up to today there.
Yeah.
So you can't be a Negro
And have land and stuff like
so
that.
it just matches up, but he knows that all the sisters are Christians now.
Yeah.
So he's using pseudo language to make them believe that he doesn't access himself into those lodges when he goes back home.
Right.
Because he says he told the whole family how the embassy, the lodges back home, they when I went in there, I lost everything I had. I'm just like, what? And then I feel like a lot of the lodge members, they just like creating like conflict. Like they'll create like a pseudo conflict thing when they're talking to you.
Yeah.
And if you don't understand like the metaphysics of what they're saying, you're just gonna think that the lodge or whatever is a scary
Yeah.
place
Just,
to
guys with doing rituals and pentagrams on the ground and
Yeah.
light the candles and then white tiles with black tiles and then this is and I heard Alex Jones say whatever, so then that's not what's going on in the lodge.
Exactly.
That's not what's going on there. You know what I mean? They're studying jurisprudence and all that. You know what I mean? The European side, the Negro side, that's it's
Totally
they don't even learn anything about law or nothing like that. Right? The Prince Halls, they don't learn. If there's Asiatic and said that he's a Mason, he ain't learned anything. Because he's really Hiram Abiff. He's really buried in the shallow grave.
Oh, that's funny.
Right. But they don't get taught. They're just they're just they're the food.
They're the henchmen. They're the workers for the
Yeah, they're the workers and they're the food. They're the energy food.
They're just to keep
the lodge alive
that
or whatever.
33 degrees at like that one position.
Right. But then also too, when you look at Prince Hall and the founding of Prince Hall, remember that's the only legitimate chartered Masonic jurisdiction
Anyway, right?
in America.
So
Because all the European lodges, they denounced their European connection when they came to America. They said they didn't want nothing to do with the king, who's the one that issued them their lodges, charters. So you can't say that, well, forget the king and the queen and all that stuff. We're going to come over here to America and then still say that you're a lodge. Because they're the people who you guys separating from is who gave you your charter. So they're charterless right now. All these Shriners, those guys on Keel or whatever like that, that claim that they're a lodge, they're not chartered lawfully. They're here under the guise of people's ignorance.
Yeah,
So you know, we're chartered. Come on, join whatever like that. You know, people are gonna go join whatever, but they're not really legitimate.
So when we access our charter, right? Seeing how these people, these Europeans are here doing business under our authority, right? When we come into our understanding, because like a lot of the conscious guys, they try to make it seem like, oh, it's on the Europeans and stuff like that. But aren't we supposed to like kind of like like become partnership kind of? When we're establishing our institutions and stuff like that with them, because the money's already there. It's just that we're supposed to partner. You know what I mean? Partner up with their organization, just like how you work with the
Yeah,
school,
but
right?
see,
In
but
your status.
see, but the issue is we're 102 years behind.
But they made everything for us, bro. Everything's set. Everything's built up.
Yeah, but we're 102 years behind. We weren't supposed to be born not Moors. We weren't supposed to be born. My mom wasn't supposed to be born not knowing that she's Moor. She's supposed to know that. My granddad had a big picture of Haile Selassie on the wall. He wasn't Rastafarian. He had no connection to Rastafarian or nothing like that. He had a big picture of Haile Selassie on the wall. Right? Because he knew about the lineage of dark-skinned people being royalty, blah, 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 but just a historical perspective. He didn't apply it to himself. You know what I mean? His parents named him Bertie. So obviously they didn't have no knowledge of Aboriginal indigenous culture or whatever like that.
So TV's where they got trapped. When the TV and the radio, the psychological, they put
No, this is prior to TV.
Oh.
It's way before TV.
What about like the kings of Europe, these Europeans that came to America? Where did they get this kind of knowledge?
From the Moors.
Yeah.
During the Dark Ages.
Yeah, because I was watching this documentary that shows that when the Moors ruled the earth, when they came from Africa to where was it? Spain.
Yeah.
Spain.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the takeover, they took over all of Spain.
Yeah.
And then Christianity took back over, and some of them leave and came to America and
Right.
started.
Yeah.
So what you have to remember though too is the only way they got here is through us.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's because of that. Yeah, that's how they know how to navigate, because they were like they didn't know anything.
Yeah, right.
They were basically
So
So that's what
so
we've forgotten, and then as well as what we realize because we created them, we have to listen to the things that I want us to remember. We keep looking to them. We have to wake ourselves up.
yeah,
So when we say that and then we go out there and we look for
and
something.
then we look for something from them every time.
We have to wake up inside and realize that it's not about getting something from them. It's about, this is going to be the battle. It's about
Yeah, because
creating
the biggest
something for yourself, and then they're going to come to you.
Yeah.
This is what came to me last night about what we're
That's
missing.
the problem.
We keep thinking about what we have to get from them. They ain't giving us nothing.
And they have nothing to give.
And they have nothing to do.
Yeah, but this is the problem.
and
that
then the next level is that we have to do more than just talk.
Right, right.
Talk is
Well, see,
anybody.
but the first step behind that is to get your mindset straight, because you're forgetting about the conditioning that they've done. That's why you keep falling in. So
And remember,
that's why you keep things about work. You know, it's really about conditioning your mind properly, and everything else falls in.
and with regard to that, right? With regard to that, remember, they say 400 years of slavery,
Yeah.
right? Of dumbing us down to the level of accepting the fact that we're adjective and not even question nothing. We just accept it. We're black people. Okay, fine. And then we go off with that as a concept, right? Right? This is omitted because after this, we had people that came and told us about our history, about our lineage, about, going back to ancient forefathers, blah, blah, whatever, right? We were taught certain things for us to bring our mentality out of thinking that we're slaves to at least thinking that we're human beings or whatever like that, right? But with regard to what Noble Drew Ali brought, he actually gave us the missing key so we can actually have a focal point of where to go to get the information to connect ourselves back to history. Not just a vague thing about, oh yeah, you know, black people built the pyramids. Okay, which ones? There's pyramids all over the continent. What pyramids are you talking about? You talk about Giza? Well, that's not the oldest pyramids. Those are modern. There's older pyramids than those. There's pyramids in the ocean
Yeah.
that people never even seen ever.
Atlanta.
Right?
China.
Bermuda Triangle.
They discovered that there's a pyramid bigger than the ones that are in Egypt. Supposedly, like underneath.
Yeah, and Bermuda Triangle is Atlantis.
Yeah.
Right?
Under the sea.
So Drew Ali actually gave us a reference point by saying Moors. So now when we go research Moors now, it leads us to different, because you know there's Moors in the Philippines. There's Moors in all over the place. There's Moors. So it was a broader perspective, but it was still directly tying us to a people that we can actually say, okay, there's actually people in 2015 that still call themselves this. You can't find me somebody that calls themselves Kemetin. You can't find me somebody that calls themselves Cushite. You can't find me somebody that calls themselves any of these other ancient names that our people try to tie to say that that's why they're the whatever. Right? You're not going to find anybody using those names today. The only name that you will find is Moors.
And he was trying to steal it so we could know who we are, although they were trying to hide our identity.
Right? But again, it's not that they were trying to hide. Because I did a little class this morning, right? A little 30-minute video, just reading the dictionary and words in the dictionary, right? If our people say that dictionary belongs to the white man, right? It's the white man's dictionary, right? It's his language, English or whatever. All right, fine. Let's go with the fact that it's the white man's stuff. When you look in the dictionary and it says blackamoor, any dark-skinned person, especially African Negro, and then it says black. It says black plus more. Right? And then they tell you black, and then they put adjective, and then they put noun. They're not hiding. They're not hiding nothing. They're not hiding. They're telling people. So what's the issue then? What's the issue?
They're putting it down so we could get it, but we're not getting it because we're so...
Why are we getting it? Because we keep following people who call themselves black to know who we are. What's a black guy going to tell you about history or whatever? What's an African American going to tell you about some history of something when all those are slave labels? Well, a slave, or you going to have the slave try to teach you about you know yourself. And that's our issue. Our own. Like Drew Ali said, you know, that's why we read the stuff. We read every meeting. Ain't no European doing nothing to us. We're doing it to ourselves. And then the Europeans coming in and he's just, you know, cleaning up the mess that our people set up in the first place. But people should have been Moors. You're not going anywhere in the world right now and not finding history of the Moors. Right? Matter of fact, let's just go. Let's put it on the record once again. Because we already did this, but you know, we're going to put it on the record again. Just because people have this misconception that the world doesn't know what we're talking about. Right? People think, you know, our people, when we present, you know, you're a Moor to them, right? They always find some reason why they can't hear what we're saying, get down what we're saying. They have every excuse in the book why they can't. Right? When it's a documented fact And we know individuals, right, who travel the world, right? We know people who are Moors, conscious Moors. We know people who are conscious Moors that travel the world as Moors, right? Because they travel the world as Moors, they are interacting with people, and people are putting them on to how they present themselves. People are putting them on so that they know that, you know what, you're actually in the right position, you're actually what you're, whatever like that, right? So we wanna put on the record once again. Okay, yeah, you could.
So NBA, right? You know, like how they have NBC, right? So NBA is something that they're telling us too, but just that we're not able to read between the line of what NBA is.
NBA as in what?
You know, the baseball game, right? You know, like how they have
Yeah,
NBC,
yeah, yeah.
right? So the NBA is the name that they probably categorize in us, because you know, just there's a lot of our people
that are in that. Yeah, you can look at it like that.
So we need to look into what this NBA is now.
No, I mean, we know what it is already. It's National Basketball Association.
We know it's a
Yeah,
national basketball
but you know,
association.
it's. I mean, that's you know.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
when I say there's something behind it, like why you put NBC, because I wasn't really feeling that you were black color. You know what I mean? So with the NBA,
Yeah, but remember, that's also a TV station.
Yeah, that's what when I saw you did it that way.
Right.
I know it's a TV
Yeah.
station too.
Right? But then, you know, what's TV station about? Telling lies,
Exactly. That's why I said
which
that.
which
Yeah.
that Negro black colored is a lie. That's not a reality.
The reason why I said
That's a
that
fiction.
is because that TV station propagates more lies than any other one, because they want to dumb us down.
But we allow it because we don't have to get the TV. We don't have to have cable.
Yeah.
I don't have cable. I have a cable for 5 years. I haven't had cable.
But when I saw that, I said, there's something there that in me.
For sure, for sure. We have to watch the convo because this will pick up. Watch the side convo because this is gonna pick up here. All right, so this was an email that I received from Brother Sheldon Mackenzie L. That's our brother. That's the shoe designer that travels all over the world. All right, and this was sent on May 5th. So we're gonna go through, some of his testimonial in his travels. We put some of it on the record, but we're gonna put some more again. You know what I mean? We're gonna put it out there again just to prove that we don't have to prove anything to anybody. It's ourselves that we have to prove this to. We don't have to prove this to people out there, outside of North America. Right? Only people we have to prove stuff to is our own people. Right?
And that's why, going back to the brother statement about the hospital, they actually stripped the birth rights at the hospital. That's
right.
When you're going to give birth, and the kids that are filing have to take it back from them.
Right.
And because they don't list them as live birth statements, it's when a baby is born, they call it a spontaneous birth.
Right.
So all those papers you have to take back from them.
Right.
Because they're actually stripping the birth rights from the
Yeah.
hospital. That's why our people should actually be doing homework, so they should be going into the hospital settings to have our kids. And we should be using midwives.
Well, what I see is when we start
Like
getting
he was born in
advanced,
hospital because I didn't do the proper research. I thought it was by midwife, yeah. So they filed his papers, so.
but when we get advanced, when we have Moors who are incorporated into the hospitals who are nurses, registered nurses, because remember, there's masons, because we're acting like we're going to have our own
Yeah, but we
this, our
don't
own
need
that, our
registered
own
nurses
everything.
either, because registered nurses are still part of the hospital.
Yeah, they are, but they still have creeds and state policies that they're allowed to
Midwives
go
is
by.
what we want, yeah. Not midwives, yeah, midwives. and-
Midwife before a nurse.
Yeah.
Oh, sure, maybe there's a difference.
Yeah, because the midwives isn't tied
The
to.
midwives are not tied
to the
any
corporate.
of that.
Oh,
They
okay.
do live births.
Yeah. So here it is. Over my last month of travels, I have experienced a lot of interaction from people approaching me because of me being in the habit of wearing my fez. The first was when I was in Hong Kong airport on my way to China. A young European male, I would say between the ages of 25 and 29, approached me and asked me about my quote-unquote hat. So I told him that it was not a hat but a fez, my ancestral headdress. He then told me that him and his friend were discussing where I came from, and I told him that it is older than 3500 BC. I told him that the Canaanite god El wore a fez. I told him that it is seen on Easter Island on stone statues. I told him that it was found in Cambodia and also found in the Mediterranean in places like Turkey. He then told me that he thought it was also from the Caribbean. And I told him, yes, absolutely. And he said that his friend thought it was from Morocco, and I agreed as well. What is interesting about this story is that the European's friend looked to be of Mediterranean descent, and he could only come up with the fez being Moroccan, but it was the European that linked it to the Caribbean. They know. Coming back from Taiwan, when I was in Istanbul airport, a man from Ukraine came up to me and said how he liked my headdress. I had my fez on. Beads around my neck, baggy pantaloon style black cotton pants. He asked me what is my nationality, and I told him. His English was very broken, but he wanted to take a photo with me. He tried several times to take a pic and his very old cell phone, but it didn't work. He then started saying, "Do you have voodoo? Do you have voodoo?" Because the pics were blurry. None of the pics came out, so he just thanked me and left. Right? And then when we look at the perspective, of that statement, right? He didn't run away from him or whatever because he thought he had voodoo or whatever. He didn't treat him like, you know what I mean? Oh, I can't talk to you or whatever because you study voodoo or you're a cult or whatever like that. Right? Again, people in the world, they know that it's not how it's, presented to Negro black colored people. They know that there's something different when there's Asiatics that have fezzes on. Something's different about you. That you wearing you don't wearing a baseball hat or nothing like that. You got fez on. You know what I mean? My next experience was when I was in London this past weekend. This was really interesting. I wore my fez the entire time I was there, and the amount of respect I received from people on the street was incredible. I went to Brixton, and this is an area I believe that has the most concentration of undeclared Moors in London. It really reminds me of Brooklyn back in the day, with a lot of street vendors and whatnot. Anyway, so I'm walking around shopping at vendors, looking at beads and stuff, and strike up a conversation with the woman and her assistant selling bead necklaces. So the assistant asks me where I'm from. So I tell him my nationality is Moorish American and I was born in Canada Territory, and the brother says, "Oh, so that is why you are wearing that quote-unquote hat." So I went through the yes, but it's not a hat, it's a fez conversation. But he knew what a Moorish American was. And he gave me respect and adapt, and we chopped it up for a bit, and I kept it moving. Next was when I walked through the area where they were selling food, and I passed this shop selling some meat owned by some Arabs. I would say. And they saw the red fez and looked at me and gave me a nod to say respect, and then they said, "Assalamu alaikum." When I left the food area, I then was on the street and this older Irish European woman stopped me and she asked me about my quote-unquote hat. So I told her about my nationality, and once I said Moorish American, and how I am indigenous to the Americas, she looked puzzled, and she asked, where in the Americas? And I told her the entire continent. Then she went into how she was dating a man who was half Arawak, and she was saying that she thought they were the first people in that area. And here is where it gets good. She said that she thought the indigenous people of the Americas were white. I had to school her. I said, no, ma'am. There were no quote-unquote white people in the Americas because they could not take the climate. The only climate that was conducive for quote-unquote white people was Europe. Matter of fact, that is why they called the UK Albion. This is where the Albions were sent because they could not take the sun. I even went into how the quote-unquote white people with the straight nose are the Albions from Hindustan. You should have seen her face. Her eyes lit up. This is when she told me that she is Irish. And then I went into the history of the Moors getting kicked out of Ireland, etc. And she nodded hesitantly as to show that she knew about the history. I also mentioned how in the 1600s the Moors from Ireland were shipped to Barbados through ethnic cleansing. From that point on, the conversation ended pleasantly. But she was shocked to hear a quote-unquote black person actually know real history. On that same intersection, I crossed the street and walked past a brother who was campaigning for the Green Party MP position in the upcoming election in Brixton. And I didn't really notice him, but I walked by and he yelled out, brother. So I turned around and he mentioned to come back. And he had this astonishing look on his face. So he asks, are you a Moor? So I say, yeah, and so are you. So he says, oh my God, I can't believe this. A Moor in Brixton. I saw a red fez and I was like, what the? So we chopped it up a bit and he told me that he studies the 5% nation and that he has mad respect for the knowledge and Noble Juali, and now he is running for MP of Brixton, etc. Cool brother named Rashid Nix. He has a radio show where he just spreads knowledge and talking about what is going on in the community. So he takes a pic with me and posts it on Twitter page. You can check it out at Rashid Nix, RashidNix, RashidNix. So in heading back to my brethren's place, we take the bus and a brother gets on and about to pass me and stops and gives me a dap, then sits down. After him, another guy, I think he was an Arab or something, gave me a nod when he passes and goes and sits down. This is all in one day. The next day we go to the Hindustani section of town, and while I am walking, a Muslim looks at me, smiles and says, Assalamu alaikum. Walk a bit further and another Muslim, Assalamu alaikum, with a smile. They didn't greet my brethren, only me. It was incredible. And the last thing on that day was when I get off the bus, a brother passed me and gave me a dap and said, respect. It's for the hat. It's for the hat. And all this is to say there is something special when you are in habit, in your proper person on the world stage. People seem to look at you in awe. I can see how this can go to some Moors' heads if their hearts and minds are not in the right place. But this weekend was very interesting, educational, and very humbling. So that is it for now. Some inspiration for the Moors. Peace, love, honor, and respect to the Prophet and all our master teachers. Islam, noble thanks for all you do. And Islam to Canaanland Moors. Sheldon Mackenzie L. Islam. Any questions, comments based on that? Yo, too much, yo. Too much fun.
That happens downtown too.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what's up. You know exactly what's up. Oh.
What I heard, he was marketing and branding all the
Yeah.
That's all he did.
Who's that?
He was,
Oh, on Sheldon?
oh,
Yeah.
He was branding and marketing as the most
Yeah.
and he just did this. And when they needed confirmation,
Yeah.
that's all they did.
Yeah. Zero. Right? That's what it's about. Right? That's what it's about. Because once we You know, it's like Brother Omar was saying. We always look for acknowledgement, right? From the European to make sure that this is when everybody acknowledges this. Everybody acknowledges this. Everybody knows what's up. Everybody knows. We're the only idiots around here. Everybody knows. It's not a secret. And if somebody is not, or somebody is not acknowledging, they're not acknowledging because your spirit's not right, and they're scared that if they tell you, you'll burn their stuff down.
You know, that 400 years there, the damage was perfectly done.
Yeah.
That's why.
Right.
Subconscious mind is all messed up.
But it comes back to that thing again, that, you know, that's why Noble Drew Ali came.
Yeah.
That's why he came in 1913, because his position was to get us out of that indoctrinated mindset once and for all.
Yeah.
By letting us know that the real thing that is holding us down is the fact that we're calling ourselves these names that have no connection to anything spiritually, metaphysically, historically, no connection. It's just brands. It's not identities. So when we start accepting the fact that we have an identity, right? Automatically that changes our mindset. And once our mindset changes, then our vibration is going to change. That when we start, you know, it's like with Brother Sheldon. He's not even 10 years in this or nothing like that. He's new to this. He'll tell you that he's new to this. He'll tell you he's still a baby in this. But he studies. I mean, he knows about his birthright. He's not going to let somebody out here classify him as black and have them say white and have them say, you know, oh, you know, your hat and all that stuff and not correct them. Right? Which is what changes the frequency. Because as soon as you start correcting them on certain things or whatever, they realize that, hold on a second, you're not like the guy that I just had a conversation with or whatever. You're not them. But you look just like him though. No, don't even classify me with them people. Don't even put me in the same category as them. Right? Because they know what's up. We're the only ones that don't know. That's the biggest misconception is the world doesn't know about the Moors. Somebody has to come verify something or whatever for, you know, our people need the verification. Even though we put it out there. You know what I mean? We do classes where we show receipts and stuff like that. Show people, yeah, we just went to the store right over there. Here's the receipt, no taxes. And they don't want to come find out about this? But they complain about taxes? They complain about tickets. Oh, well, the Moor just went to the court, beat the ticket up. The Moor just got his door kicked in or whatever. Whatever. Went to court. Judge threw out everything. You're not going to get down? You still questioning stuff? Whoa, like, what more you want? You know, what's the problem? Oh, you're listening to Imam Bashir. You're listening to Sa Netter. You're listening to Ali Muhammad. You're listening to Shaka Amos. You're listening to Black Power. You're listening to Black Supremacy. You're listening to Black Panther Party. You're listening to Nuwapians. You're listening to Rastafarians. You're listening to chematologists. You're listening to all these people who don't have no status. And you want to know how come you don't get it? Because people are brainwashing people. But they don't look at it like that. They look at, oh yeah, we're finding knowledge about ourselves because, you know, whatever. As soon as somebody says black people, African people, ancient people of whatever like that, and they don't talk about Moors, already know that those people are enslaving you mentally. Period. They don't even just talk about. As soon as somebody says red, black flag or whatever, when clearly that's a banner, it's not recognized by anybody in the world. You take that to anybody in the world, they think you're from Afghanistan. If you take the red, black, green flag that these people uphold and say, oh yeah, black nationalist flag or whatever, and you go to anybody in the world, they're going to ask you, why you have an Afghanistan flag? You don't look Afghani. And then our people are going to talk about, oh yeah, no, the people are against our whatever, and they're against it, and they're trying to hide information. No, you guys are stupid, incompetent, idiots. And the world knows it. So what do? Just walk the strip. Just walk the strip from the subway station to down here. And all we got is hair stores, food stores, barber shop, selling some European clothes or whatever like that. Right? Whatever, that club, right? You got some club, whatever, right? But then when you check everybody else, Sri Lankans, they got convenience store where all of them people go into or whatever like that, right? Who they say is their enemy, by the way, because, you know, they're not black people, they got straight hair and they don't nothing to do with us, but they got melanin darker than you, but they're not your people, right? Asian people, they go to them, do their hair and do their nails and whatever like that. They never open their own nail store, hair store, but they're gonna go complain about some Koreans that got a store and they're taking money out of the black community or whatever like that. They need to give back some of the money to the community because, you know, they're in the black community and we're the ones that go to them the most and talking stupid like that, right? Jews, they don't even want nobody else coming to their store other than Jews. You walk in there and see if they serve you. Got Greeks, they got their own little community tucked away over there on paper or whatever like that. You got the Turkish, they got their own little community tucked away somewhere. You got the Polish people, they got their own little community tucked away. They got their own stores, they got bank machine in their own language, all this type of stuff. And then we're over here talking about, you know, people are racist against us and how come they don't do whatever like that. And then these Europeans make a black school and everybody jumps on it. And then they go there and now they're complaining that black school's not teaching their children. They're complaining right now about the black school. That they took all their children out of the independent home schools that just brothers and sisters in the community said, we're going to start a school. $600 a student or whatever like that. Well, you know, it's $600, you know, how are we going to, whatever. European open a free black school? Oh, they're going to go take their children there, though. They take their children to the but that's the enemy, though. Remember, that's the enemy, kill crackers and all that stuff, but they go to the Europeans who started a black school. And think that they're going to be respected by somebody around here? You really think somebody's going to respect that position? If they think that, then, hey, you're entitled to be ignorant. You're entitled to be incompetent. You have a right to be a stupid person. You have a right to not use your common sense. Doesn't mean that somebody has to respect that right, which they don't. That's why people get shot up and choked out here, and they don't want to correct their status. And when we keep asking people, you know, well, nationality can't save you. Find me a Moor that they killed. Challenge anybody out here. Find me one nationalized Moor that's active, that they shot up, choked out, did something where they took their life out here. Yeah, and then on the other side, find me one black power kill cracker, whatever guy, that stood up to a judge when he got a ticket. One, just one. Find me one that did more than just pull out their phone and tape somebody getting their ass kicked by one of these so-called policy enforcers. Find me one that went up to them and said something, hey, you know, you can't be doing that or whatever, you know. It's our brother, you know what I mean? We're the new Black Panther Party and stuff like that. You know our history, you know what I mean? We're the Black Panthers or whatever like that. We used to have guns and whatever like that. Yeah, they're not, you know. And find me one of those black power whatever guys that killed a cracker. Just find me one cracker that they killed. One. If that's the talk, they're yelling that all over the place. Everything they're yelling black power and all that. kill crackers. Okay, well, how come there's still crackers walking around here? They never killed one cracker yet, right? One? I'm saying, like, find me the most racist cracker. At least kill that guy. You have reason to kill that guy. You have reason to, the guy who choked out Eric Garner, to go to his house, knock the door, kidnap him, and do him like Lumumba. You have a right to do that. Chop him up, put him in a barrel, put some gasoline in there, burn him up. Never. Because the European is black man's God. And they would never go against their God. They could talk whatever they want against Moors. They would never, ever, ever, ever go against their God. They would never challenge their God. They would never face their God face to face and say, yo, you're not my God, yo, you're a fraud. Never. They talk about Moors and all that stuff, and people aren't Moors, and Europeans said Moors black, so that means we're black, and talk stupidness. And, you know, again, if people want to be ignorant and go with that, you have that right. But don't be trying to convince me about, you know what I mean, I'm wrong or whatever like that. You don't prove me wrong if you're against this. And if anybody else has questions, you know, it's freestyle day, so just bring up your questions. Whatever questions there are.
I'm one of those. I'll be even I think I might have been down in Moorish, but I went on my do what I need to do. So I'm still sure about this thing. I offered to live in the Moorish. So now I'm doing the Shia. So now she's been seeking information, she's been sharing. So now my eyes are open. So as somebody who is always open to information, open to what is out there, I come here. I was here the last time, 2 months ago, about the same, and seeing your faces. What is 16 people here who have knowledge of it and have more knowledge than some? What are you doing to bring that? So everybody is aware of it. Because again, I'm shown about it to my attention. I operate with ignorance.
Yeah.
So I hear what you're saying, and I'll be honest, I listen to you, and I listen to something, and you just seem to have a wealth of information, and you don't speak ignorantly. So then, how are you guys in the know?
The way she knows a little bit about Moors beyond me is because my grandfather was part of the Mexican.
Yeah, and I was impressed with that.
Yeah.
To me, they had to go over. They didn't talk about it. Women can go in there and I'm thinking,
But that's your perception.
No.
That's not a reality.
No. My stepfather belongs to that.
Yeah,
So
but
when I saw that,
yeah.
I did not know about this. So when I was exposed to that, it scared
yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying. That's a perception.
I couldn't separate the two.
Yeah.
I feel sure now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was exposed to that as growing up.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. But growing up, that shouldn't have scared you. Because that's this.
But no, that's
underground.
Because I was not, it wasn't transparent.
Yeah.
Okay, it got to the point where he told my mother that if this and this happened, he will put her in a wheelchair. So when I hear that, I'm thinking, so when Shona brought this to my attention now, I said to her, research, open your ears, hear what you have to hear, and see the difference. And listen to it. So now I have seen the difference because that was scary. This is transparent, not scary.
It's funny you say that because
This, I glanced through this today on the way here. Because with this, it is what it is. I am hearing what your friend did. My head off.
Okay, but you see that?
It may not be the whole thing.
Your step whoever, you got that.
But you know what? I never this And this,
He knows that right there.
but you see, as a Moorish American, what I am doing, because I am very interested in doing the marketing. But what I want to do is do it as if I know nothing, because I don't want to be biased. I want to do it based on what you guys know.
No, but you're gonna do it based on what you know. You're not gonna do it based on what we say. No. What the reason why is because this information is your birthright. This is not something that we sanction. I'm not sanctioning you to be marketer.
You have to hear me. Are you
Again.
gonna wait until I have knowledge to market it?
No, you're gonna wait till you have knowledge to market. Guaranteed, because trust me. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying, right? Listen to what I'm saying, right?
What you're saying is basically you're entering as an infant. But,
Yes,
but,
but there's not.
but,
Yeah,
Well, that's
exactly.
what time. Time is an illusion.
The thing
Yeah.
is,
Time is an illusion.
This is the starting point.
Well, you
And
just
go
jumping
through
in
our
there.
once
Morris,
apply it,
one at a
one
time.
We have to fast track and go through a year, once a year apply, and then start researching and taking and getting our own facts. We basically start here and then elaborate on it ourselves through research.
And she doesn't want to have a biased opinion.
No, you're gonna be biased.
No.
You're gonna be biased.
Okay, but you have to okay. Let me put it
Okay, let me put it like this, right? This is not for Negro, black, colored people. This is not for somebody to say, I'm black, so I'm gonna go to the Moors. No, if you're in here, you're Moor. You're not gonna be in here black, African, Rastafarian, whatever like that. That's not the unity that we're about. The unity we're about is that we cater to Moors. That's all. We cater to Moors. You're not gonna market to black people to be Moors. It doesn't work like that.
What I'm saying is, as somebody who does marketing, to get you off the board, for instance, you're in Toronto, and this is where you are. And I'm listening to how you're talking about going down the street and they have all this stuff, and yet there's nothing along the street for like how the Jews have their stuff.
There is, there's this temple.
Okay, but that's not what I'm saying. Basing on what you were saying about as you go, listen to Jews have this and Buddhists have that and that, and certain people go to those because that's their thing, if you want to put it that way. So what I'm saying is, as a marketer who does not want to be biased when he is presented, you see how that gentleman with his branding as he went along is based on his knowledge. But I come here, and until somebody says something, I have no knowledge.
That's all right. That's cool. Nothing's wrong with that.
Maybe I'm saying
Okay,
it's okay.
Nothing's wrong with that.
I just want to add on to that. I'll let you finish. You have to not come into this as a marketer. You have to come into this as a war.
Oh, I don't
If you keep using the term marketing and brand, that's not what this is. This is about you finding yourself, not through marketing and not through the aspects of marketing. What's happening is you put on a filter right now that is causing I think is causing some confusion in how you're seeing this. That's what I
Not taken away from marketing.
No, that's not what she's talking about. The gentleman did what he did on the weekend. That's the Mackenzie.
Let her say everything like that.
Yeah.
Then you guys.
Then you see how he did what he did. Because why?
Yeah, but why did he do what he did?
Because he had knowledge, but that his intent was based on his knowledge and how he wanted to represent. I'm coming in here and I'm saying there is a lot of events in Toronto, Brampton, wherever, all over Ontario, where you will notice that people go there and people become aware of them.
Yeah.
But if I go to, I'm going to go to Canada.
Yeah.
If I go to Canada, there's nothing going to say, hey, come to whatever. I went to the regional field and I did something there, and it was everything to me in the regional field was there, but I never saw more. And there was no table to
Yeah,
sit.
but what kind of event was it?
It was it's a community event.
Yeah,
and at
but
the table,
catering to
at the table, the Aboriginals was there. There was pride It was for the LGBT community.
So
It
that's
was
not,
during-
Moors
it was-
ain't gonna be there.
It's during, but there are homosexual lords. There are.
Moors aren't gonna be there. Like, listen, what you have to understand, right? What you have to understand, right? If we look at this as ours, right? No, hold on a second. No. When I say ours, I mean his. He looks at it how he looks at it because it's his. He looks at it how he looks at it because it's his. You look at it how you look at it because it's yours. You are going to be the one that says, hey, LGBT, no more is here. I'm going to go there and I'm going to set up something. I'm going to go to Cujo, say, give me some DVDs, give me some books or whatever. I'll set up a table so that we can set up there. I'm not going to be the one that's going to go there to set up whatever because you are a marketer and you realize that, oh, I realize that there's no mores here. So, could you come? You're going to be the one to do that, not me, because it's your birthright. Remember, this is your birthright. This is not my stuff that I'm going to go back here, I'm going to get the thing, and then I'm going to give it. Now you're a Moor. This is your stuff. It's yours. It's yours. This is your personal $100 that you dropped. That I'm telling you, you dropped $100. No, I mean, just for lack of, to keep it simple.
No, but I want to keep,
right?
I want to let them know.
Because I don't want to go too deep.
Yeah.
So that the message gets lost that it's yours. It's not. Like if we pull anybody out the street that's another national, and we say, go in or whatever. What's your nationality? They're gonna tell you their nationality. They're gonna break down the history. They're gonna not because somebody put them on, because that's their stuff. You better know. If you say that you're Chinese, you better know Chinese history. You better know, because it's their stuff. As the individual, not as the if we ask 10 Chinese people what their religion is, not all of them are gonna say Buddhism or whatever. Some of them are gonna say Christian.
Yeah.
Some of them are gonna say I'm atheist. I don't even believe in God or whatever. But my nationality is Chinese, and ain't nobody taking that away from me or whatever. Nobody's not gonna make me switch and say I'm Canadian because I live in Canada or whatever. He's Chinese. He knows his history, knows his culture. Brother Sheldon, he knows his history, he knows his culture because it's his. That's not something what the Grand Sheik said that I have to wear my fez and then I have to wear my pantaloons and then I have to wear my necklace like this in order for me to be a Moor. But that's all him. That has nothing to do with anybody else. That's all him. He on his own sent that email about his testimonial for him going around the world, and this is what I never told him to send that to the email. He did that on his own because he recognizes that it's his stuff, and he's going to use it how he sees fit, sticking to the principles, put no bourgeoisie lay down, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, speak in an intelligent tone, do certain things, make sure you wear your national headwear, fez, turban, or whatever. Sometimes you might not wear a fez. You're still going to be a Moor without a fez on or whatever. You're still going to be a Moor. Wear a t-shirt, button-down shirt with a jeans, army pants, sneakers, boots, wallabies, whatever. We're still Moors because it's ours. It's our birthright. And we weren't taught that this is our birthright. We are taught that we're everything else. So what I wanted to put on the board, there's a Moor, right? Younger brother. He started something online called Moorish. What's that say? What's that say? What's that say?
Same thing. It works.
Marketing is are marketing. Marketing is getting information out there to the people correctly. That
And
is
the
what I
only
was talking
and the
about.
only way that it's gonna get out correctly
And
is
that
if you
is
do it.
fine, but like I said, what I'm hearing here is that urgency. There's an urgency for all this to come correct, for people to realize their birthright. And it is like, it is not tomorrow, it is not next year. We need to hit it right now and done it.
No, but you're not because because if we say, you know, what I mean, university, you want to be doctor. You need to be doctor right now because people plagues going around. We need doctors right now. You think somebody's gonna go to some university and leave tomorrow with a doctorate?
Well, no, but see, again, it's as an urgency and you gotta get up and get running. You're running, but you know what, there's not
That's why I
enough.
put this on the board. 102 years behind. We're already late. So it's not no big deal. You missed the bus, another bus coming. Or walk. But you're not going to make a bus come faster than it's going to come. You're not going to, you know, it's just like we say. Doors open, people want to walk in. You know, some people stick their head in there. Hey, oh, I see how you guys go to the store or whatever like that. You know what I mean? This is interesting or whatever like that. You know, and then they walk back out the door. Some people walk in and, you know, they can't leave. They've been here for 4 years. Just from walking in the door. Why? Because they recognize that this is their stuff. It's not something we put them on to something. This is theirs. And the only way that this is going to make sense to you is when you embrace it as it's yours. We can't go out there and save all those people out there. There's going to be casualties in this war. There's going to be collateral damage. It's unfortunate because we're 102, you know, we're supposed to be on this already for, you know, whatever. You know, I'm only in this 8 years or whatever. That ain't no time. 8 years is like this compared to 102 years. 8 years is this. But, you know, do what we got to do because it has to be done. And the urgency is on the individual. See how urgent stuff is. It's the individual that has to accept that, damn, we're 102 years behind or whatever. We should. I mean, if we said that we were Moors, imagine if all of us said that we were Moors from 1913 and we listened to Noble Drew Ali. And we didn't listen to Elijah Muhammad and Farrakhan and, you know, all the list of all the people who've been telling us that we're black. Imagine we never listened to them. And we listened to Noble Drew Ali from 1913, where we would be right now. We wouldn't even need this place right here talking about class, teaching people about nothing. Because we would already be what everybody's expecting us to be and waiting for us to be, but we don't want to be. People are waiting for us to be. And their position is, you know, it's like when people say, you know, nationality in papers or whatever can't stop bullets and all that stuff. People find me a Moor that they killed. Nobody can find me a Moor that they killed. Why? Because Moors aren't out here wasting goddamn time marching, picketing, or whatever like that. They're home studying because they know you got to get your mind right before you do anything out there. There's Moors who I know, they only go outside for food. They don't go outside for nothing else. They only go out their doors to go get food. That's it. Go right back home. No long talking or no stopping. Oh yeah, go check this guy and go check this guy. Drive over here and see this people. They ain't doing none of that. Home, studying. Well, why? Not because, you know, Cujo or whatever like that. Because they studied Noble Drew Ali. Noble Drew Ali told them, study, study, study. And when you studied everything that you thought you could study, and you asked me what to study next, I replied, study yourself. And they studied themselves, and then they studied themselves. They found more stuff that they didn't even find out when they were studying. And we already know, you know, some people aren't on it. Like, it's not going to be, you know, some people want to go to the club once in a while and go here once in a while, go there once in a while. Ain't no big deal if that's what you want to do. But don't complain that you don't have a hospital when, you know, you should be billing it. Don't complain that Moors aren't, how come the Moors aren't at this and how come the Moors aren't at that? Do you know in Toronto, right? Just so you know, just to bring you up to date. In Toronto, so-called conscious community in Toronto, right? I'm a founder. I'm somebody who, since the 90s, been out here teaching people about their culture. It's not something new to me, right? We've had libraries out here where our personal books from my personal house was in the library, that we used to drive around and deliver books to people, that books I never even got back yet. This was 1990s. People have books, move, didn't give me back my stuff yet. You ain't worried about that. They're gonna get their little judgment for whatever they did, because we work for the people. You don't work to get no accolades or nothing like that. You know what I mean? There was Marcus Garvey Center. I was a key holder in Marcus Garvey Center back then. Key holder. Go there anytime, open the door. We used to do classes, stuff just like this or whatever like that. Negroes in there, not European. Negroes in there. Didn't like what we were doing and want to change locks on the door and stuff like that. Be inside. We have an event. We're outside. No key because they changed the lock. They're inside walking back and forth. We're banging on the door. This conscious people. People who say that they know their self, they're for a community or whatever like that, know that we have an event or whatever coming up. We've been giving out flyers for months. Time for the event, we're outside looking in the place. Seeing people. Walking by, not even looking at the door. Like straight walking by like this. Right? And that was in my 20s or whatever. Right? So when I see our people not gravitate to this information, right? When I see our people not gravitate to this information, when I came out of Negro, black, colored, African, want to go to Africa, see the pyramids and stuff like that, because that's our culture, blah, 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 right? Ancient this and ancient that and whatever like that. Rastafarian, have your hair in a turban and all that stuff, you know what I mean? Wear your African culture and whatever and all that. And realize all that stuff's a fraud because you have a nationality. Deal with Orishas and all that stuff, Olokun, Ogun, Shango, going down to the river to go put baskets of fruit into the water for the ancestors and all that stuff like that. Oh yeah, there's a big tree right there, that's a special tree of the ancestors, so you're gonna have to take, the banana because, they love the banana, and then you put it in the oak tree hole and all that type of stuff like that. And you're doing all this stuff to get nothing, and then come into this information now. And then now, as soon as we're talking about saying that we're Moors and we're talking about the fraud of black and African and whatever like that, and all these people I know personally, we used to be, together, lion paws and all that type of stuff, crush Paul, and all of a sudden nobody doesn't call me no more. When I was black, it was great. Come on down, we just got some grant money, we're going to hit you off, we'll give you some money, come here, teach, the children about, their black culture or whatever. Not at all more. Nobody, you guys still getting grant money, what happened? You're not going to call me to come talk to the youth no more? Every time same thing that you're talking about, all these events, Afrofest and drumming festival and whatever like that, stuff like that. When we were black, yeah, we have an event, bring the DVDs. I know you guys have all this information for the community or whatever like that. We're going to give you a table. You can set up the table and all that type of stuff, blah, blah. Who say that we're Moors? What happened? Because we become a threat to them. And that bullshit that they're teaching people about that's their culture. We become a threat to them. Why? Because they're using know thyself as retirement package, whatever, to leech off their people. Keep their people deaf, blind, and dumb. Out here paying tickets to some European. But they know their self though. But they're paying tickets. That we already showed that you can beat those. You got Moors in here that they already been to court. Beat tickets. 5 tickets, 10 tickets, 15 tickets. Stack up stuff like this that they're saying, oh yeah, you're gonna get jail time and all that type of stuff. Judge that, what are you trying to do, prosecutor? You're not getting me caught up in you guys friggin' stuff right here. Bang gavel, withdraw everything. Prosecutor mad, want to sue judges now. Prosecutor mad at the judge. Mad. Like beat red in the court because he's embarrassed. Because they're trying to run game on Moors like they got jurisdiction to do whatever to Moors. And then our people who look just like us and they're not recognizing this, they're still letting people go out there pay tickets to these Europeans who we already beat them. We already beat them. How much people over here, they got children going to European schools or whatever like that, complaining about vaccination. Complaining about vaccination. We don't want to vaccinate, blah, whatever like that. Want to send a little letter. These guys leave these people's children alone. No vaccination, no question about nothing. But they don't want to come out with it. They don't want to change their tune. They want to not get vaccinated but stay black. It ain't happening. You be black, you getting vaccinated. You just name it. You name the issue. Out here in Toronto, the Moors, some Moor has dealt with it that has, for lack of a better term, been under my tutelage. As the individual who brought Moorish science to Toronto, Moors who have studied under what we brought here, they've already, children's services, got their children back, had children's services come deliver the children, like here's the children back, sorry for bothering you, I mean we didn't mean to whatever, you don't need to sign in anymore, you don't need to call us anymore, we're not going to call you, you just, whatever, right? Just like the Moors last week, went into court, told them, yo, you guys got a brother, I'm a regency, I'm a regent for a brother, you guys kidnapped brother, oh, you mean you guys are, okay, everybody's frantic or whatever like that, let them go on recognizance. No bail, no put up the house, no put up the car, no, well, you got to put down 5,000, and then, none of that. Just, sign here. Okay. And then they just walk out the building. Then all these people going in there and, oh, well, I'm supposed to, and I don't have the money because, and then, well, if you guys just give me a chance, one more chance, and then I'll pay next weekend or whatever, stuff like that. When we beat up these people out here, using their stuff too, not even like it's some magical or whatever like that, fairy dust sprinkled on us makes us powerful. Minuscule, low-level information. Just knowing that we're not Negro black colored. Forget all the other stuff or whatever. That we're saying that, oh yeah, it's so deep. We got to learn this, and if we don't learn this, and you know what I mean? Like what you're saying with the time, and we're running out of time. All you need to know is that you're not Negro black colored. You just say that out there, some people see what happens. See how your world changes when you admit to them that you're not black. Right? Right? Tripping.
Like, what does he mean?
Like literally. What do you mean you're not black? Literally.
Because the media makes it seem like, they don't know what's going on, what the media does, Over here, it's like, oh, everybody's black, over here, they see different.
Or how would you like to be called?
Right? Even on the level of quote unquote black Indian. Noah Drawley was Cherokee. He never called himself black Indian. He wasn't going to no Europeans to go get some card from them so he can get taxes off because he's Indian, that's black. So want you guys to recognize. So you know what I mean. I want you to give me some grant money or whatever like that because as a black Indian, you guys have a right to acknowledge me or whatever. He was Cherokee, born and raised in a Cherokee reservation. Cherokees are native. He never called himself native. Never called himself black Indian or none of those labels that these people have. Never called himself Moor. And they acknowledge him as who he says that he is. Why? Because that's what he is. But if you want to be a fraud and say you're black and whatever like that, black Indians and black Wall Street and black inventors and black this and black that, hey, go right ahead. But don't get mad when you don't get what you're claiming that they're supposed to give you because they ain't giving it to the black. That's the natives. Natives live on a reserve right now where they have nothing. They don't even have running water. They could be out here with everybody else, just an apartment together. What's the problem? Why you guys just get an apartment? Why you not a reserve in the boondock somewhere where you don't have nothing?
So, the black and the colored people, okay, they are Moors, they're just not aware. So why would you not want to educate them in that?
Why don't they come to the temple?
Because they don't know.
What do you mean you don't
Okay,
know?
hold on. Okay.
Like
Here's
you said.
the thing. Okay, so I was introduced to this by Shakir. Before him, I didn't even know my grandfather was in this. My mom didn't tell me about it, okay?
Yeah.
And she didn't tell me because of the experience that she had growing up with his mentality and how that chapter ran their temple.
Yeah,
Okay?
whatever they have, yeah.
So when I approached her and I told her, she's like, oh, you can learn about it, and that's you. And if you want to, you go right ahead. I said, because it's my mother, and she's the one who raised me, and the way I'm brought up is because of her. This is something she needs to know, right? She, at the time, is a black, nigger, colored person.
Yeah.
But it was my point. It was me. It was up to me. I love her. I want her to know. I love my nigger, black, colored people because I know that they are Moors.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But they are not aware. So I'm going to keep telling them.
Yeah.
And that's what we need to
We're
be
not
doing.
saying this. Don't tell them.
But what I'm saying is,
The
that's
best
what
way,
we
the
need to
best
be
way you
doing.
can help
Can I say something,
these
though?
people, the
Yes,
best way you can help these people, sir, is by just being yourself. Let them see you.
That's what the
But
point is.
that's going to take time. We don't have that kind of
Yeah.
time.
When you walk out here, they're gonna see
But
you.
see, that's
No,
the
it's not
thing.
okay. No, it's not okay because that's why all these businesses are closing. That's why I have to fight every day. When I was 16, white people were calling me nigger. Okay, that's not okay. Because these are friends that I grew up with. Let me talk.
And
Alright,
then
go ahead.
Okay,
also,
when I'm done.
I want you to finish, but here's the thing too, you also have to listen too when people respond.
And I'm listening. And I yesterday all I did was sit there and listen. I didn't say
We're not
anything.
talking about
Let's leave it today.
So that's what I'm talking about now.
Go ahead.
What I'm saying is, these are people that I grew up from when I was young. Okay? These are my best friends. And at 16, I've known them for almost 9 years. They were calling me a nigger.
Yeah.
Right? And my black friends went along with it because they didn't know any better. Why not teach those people?
Why not you
Because-
teach those people?
But
That's
that's
your
hard.
friends.
No, but that's what I'm saying. We're saying in a collective. We are a collective.
Yeah.
It's
We're a
not,
collective,
I'm not
but you're-
Shona and just Shona. This is Shona. This is Captain. This is
Like we
Tyreek.
said,
This is Shaquille. This
it's
is
your
Janet.
birthright.
Right? And it's their birthright too.
Here's the thing, guys, hello? The
What?
thing is, we're never gonna get anything done if you don't let one person talk and then respond, right? So, and then obviously when you're done, you have to be quiet to listen to the answer.
So, what
So
I'm just
finish,
saying.
and then.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's all of our birthrights, whether we're aware or not, and we should be sharing it with everybody.
Okay.
and be pursuing on sharing that
Okay, can I ask a question? Okay, so, we're the only Moors that I know of, right? When I say Moors, I'm talking about Moors that are active,
Yeah.
Moors that do things, right? We have a YouTube channel, right? We have a YouTube channel that is obviously on the internet, which reaches millions of people. Millions of people have access to that, right?
What is that?
What's what?
What do you call it?
No, yeah, but I'm doing that. This is not a temple thing or whatever. This is me personally. I personally said, hey, we'll reach 1 million people if we have classes online. So now we do classes online. Not just come in the door. We have classes online where, you know, we got to show you, right? We got, just to show you, Tyler, Texas. This is somebody from in Tyler, Texas that wants to be a member here. Right? People here, they don't want to be members of this though. They can't say that they don't know because this guy's in Tyler, Texas and he found out. I don't know him personally. I never reached out to him personally. No, Robin Hood Bay, you need to come join the class or whatever. He was just out there researching Moors, bumped into our stuff. That's on the internet for anybody who wants it. And he said, he sent in his stuff. Bet you, let's just open and see what the hell's in here since we're, you know. Just to show you. Right?
What I'm saying to you is that
Okay,
before,
hold on. One at a time, though, right?
One at a time.
he's opening it up, so what he's listening to me.
So, right? So, Moorish Divine National Movement, or whatever, nationalization and name correction, honorable membership form. Right? He personally sent this himself. This isn't, I went out to go get him. We just put stuff online just because. I figured we're going to reach more people if we put the stuff online. So we put it online. Whoever calls, calls. Whoever doesn't call, they. I mean, they're not begging nobody to come get down with their birthright. This is their birthright. If they want it, they're going to get it. If the horse is thirsty, he's going to drink. If the horse is not thirsty, the water could be there forever. The horse is just going to stand there and not drink because the horse don't want to drink. I'm not about hanging on a horse's neck to make horse drink, trip the horse, put the head in the water so the horse could drink. That's not what this is about. Right? You're saying that we need to get this out to the people so that the people know what this is.
They know.
Okay, but if it's been out, how come I never knew about it?
What do you mean?
You know about it now?
You know about it?
Yeah, but that's
I just want to ask you one question. I just want to ask you one question. How long have I known you? A month. So it hasn't been long that I've known about this though, right?
Okay, I brought somebody yesterday.
More.
Wait. I brought somebody in yesterday, and I wanted to attest to this. Yeah. I met her a couple times at, Shetland College and told her about, nationality. Every time she sees me, I always talk about it. I'm proving it, tax exemption, whatever. Something that she can gravitate to. She got curious, really curious. And she did tell me, I want to come. So finally she came with her boyfriend. Okay, her boyfriend's African guy, and she's from Jamaica. So they came, and they came on the wrong day because yesterday was like a more profound information-based class. But today's Sundays are better days to come. But they came anyways. So cool, they came, and they did lessons, and they were very confused. So Brother Omar took them aside to kind of give them a better brief introduction of what this is about. So, and I also added speaking to them about
What happened was when I stepped away, he continued on.
Right.
This is
right. So I explained to them that it's not about colors, but status, right? And reasons why on the news you forever hear this person dead, this person got shot without a weapon is because of your status, nothing else. Not about color, nothing else. And I then explained to him that you are considered a corporation. And then I asked him a question. I asked him, what's the short form for corporation? He said, a corp. I said, okay, so put an S to that. He said, corpse. I go, exactly, that's what they see because you're not alive. Because by nationality, you're not a living person. You are a dead entity. For some reason, this individual, let's go. Let's go. Grabbed onto his girlfriend's arm and said, let's go. I said, brother, are you okay? He was like, listen, I just gotta go. And I'm like, listen, okay, if I said anything to disrespect you, let me know because I'm not about disrespecting anybody. Right? I didn't know you to disrespect you. What happened? Well, because you said that I'm a dead person and the whole corpse thing. I go, oh my god. I'm like, what?
To add to that, he called back to book this.
What?
Was it the same person?
Yeah, the project.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
so he,
yes.
okay, and let me
Woo!
add on to what he's saying. So I didn't meet this brother yesterday. We came here today, and he came in. He says, yesterday I came and I was had some information, but my wife and I don't agree, so I'm bringing back the book. Right? He just brought it. He left, and he came back again. He says, "Oh, I just want to apologize for what happened yesterday."
Yeah.
All right? I said, brother, no need to apologize. Information that you saw yesterday, information that you see here right now, it's the truth. And the truth hurts. So what you have to do is go and investigate yourself. Don't take what we are saying as just the truth. You go and investigate. Now, to add on to everything that is being said, when you mentioned in the word in the terms of marketing, I gave to Cujo our zodiac constitution. Yes, I wanted to get on that, just so you could see in regards to who we are. We are not supposed to be out there marketing.
That's one of the things was too, just within the dynamic of the class. Let's try and keep things,
Yes.
you know, I don't want to say that we have to adhere to anything, but I
So-
think it's only going to help us. If one person talks, the rest of it, for now, I think. right?
So, in terms of rules and regulations of the temple, of the nation, and of the Moorish Science Temple itself, there's a constitution that we have to follow to a T. So in regards to when you mention marketing, not saying that we cannot do it because we do go to shows. We do go to, like as you mentioned, the Afro Fest. We go to the hair shows. We go to the JCA. We do these things, right? However, on a go-forward basis, we are not allowed to be outside handing out flyers. We could speak to you on a one-to-one basis, but we are not allowed to be out there in a big group doing that.
I just want to add on to one other thing, just to add on to that. What we all know as people, as a Negro, black, colored, whatever, we all know something's wrong, eh? Yeah. All of us, to a point, know something's wrong. We all have known this. We could ask anyone out there. So it all comes to you wanting to go and figure out what the hell that is. Some of us have come into this as a black and white problem, a nigger and whatever problem. So we can't say that it's not out there. So that's, I just want to add that.
And to finish
But
off,
Let's her, and then, let her finish.
Let you can finish off.
Finish off, then her, and then.
to finish off the whole point, like literally, this is not for everybody.
Right.
Not everybody's ready. I commend you for coming here as a Bronx and not coming here. Literally, I commend you. Not many people are not ready for that because they're so comfortable being like this. They're just comfortable. They make themselves comfortable. I can't be comfortable with that. So I commend you. But again, there'll be a situation for you to make you want to come here. And that's what it's about. It's a divine thing. It doesn't mean you can force your body and say, put this on, wear it. Once you go to a situation, and you're like, you know what, I need to answer, pray or whatever, one of us will come along and you're like, oh my gosh, you're my answer, you're my prayers. And that's how they manage to come here. Just some will cross your path to come here. That's how it works. You can't force you out there.
Go ahead. Okay, so let's her. Amari.
So, Amari's response to my question You see, we go around for hundreds, like this is what we can and cannot do. So that is perfect. Because now I at least that's what we can and cannot do. See, marketing doesn't have to be like, woo.
No.
Marketing is small as what the gentleman did who went on his journey.
And that's
over
what
the
Cujo is
weekend.
speaking to you on the
Yeah,
beginning.
so now you brought it together as one and it is very good.
All right.
So I have this and then I have yours.
But now I would like Cujo to see.
Oh,
So hold on, but I think she had a.
There you go.
Okay,
Okay, how I heard about this, a friend told me, Shakim, and Shakim called me. And when Shakim called me, we had some problem and issue, right? And I tell Shakim, I don't need to hear anything more because I'm the type of person that you have to come to a conscious reality to receive certain things because not everybody will receive it. And I said to Shakim, don't tell me anymore. I want to go to the temple myself and hear. And that's how come I came. I'm coming from Brampton. Sometimes I don't come down just because I'm coming from far. So I go online and start research. And I want to go to spread it far. But then my brother said, you know what we have to do? We have to study this thing for ourselves. Islam. And know what we are going to say now to somebody because they're not going to receive it. So what I did, I came and I'm studying now. I'm studying now about the Moorish movement, right? When I told my friend, he got mad with me. This is a friend I'm telling him. Because I realized it's a one-on-one thing. He got mad with me. He said, I don't want to hear nothing. This thing is crazy. They do it. Now he went online to go study more. He said,
You're right.
What you're telling me, I'm catching it now because he's going to go study for it. So what you have to really tell somebody, you have to tell them, you study and tell them they have to go study for themselves. If they're not going to appreciate it. Yeah.
And just to add on to that as well, even me coming into this, when finding out about there's this individual named Nobu Ali. Like, okay, well, I consider myself learned or whatever. I've been in consciousness. This guy's name never came up, ever. Ever. This name never came up. Heard everybody else's name, never heard his name. Like, okay, well, let me check out, see what's about. All these Moors all over the place. All of a sudden, there's people called Moors. People got fezzes on. They got somewhere called Moorish Science Temple. All of a sudden, I'm hearing about this. I never heard about this ever before. I've been in consciousness since early 90s. Never heard about this ever until 2008. Like, okay. One more. All these Moors out here trying to, whatever. One more said, you know what? Let me just come check out the temple for yourself. Where's it at? Chicago. Plane or whatever, 14-hour bus ride. Like, well, what we got to lose? You know what I mean? You never heard about it before. Most that could happen is, we find out that it's BS or whatever, and you come back home. And go to Chicago, and then here we are. Because I personally said something, just same thing. Something's wrong. Because, I'm black, Negro color, whatever. Conditions are the same out here. We're doing all these classes or whatever. People still dumb down or whatever. Nothing's changing. And then get to this side now and realize that, the whole time they had blinders on. The whole time they had stuff over our eyes, can't even see the world. We're looking in a blind position thinking that we're seeing the world when we weren't even being introduced to anything. All this metaphysics, high science, melanin is the blackness of the universe and we're spiritual beings, star beings, and stardust is in our skin and all that stuff, and it all meant nothing until you got to this level of information. And I had to go drink from the well to get the benefits of that water. Somebody couldn't tell me, the well, you drink from that well, you live forever, you got to drink. And when you drink and you realize, now you have an obligation to go let somebody who doesn't know. Which is why we put the stuff online, so people who don't know could know. And then, people, Texas, UK, Switzerland, Netherlands, whatever like that. Somebody from the Netherlands who's in a mental institution. He's in the Netherlands in a mental institution because his parents think that he's crazy because he's talking about Moors. And they put him in a mental institution. His parents, his own parents, put him in a mental institution. And he's in the Netherlands and he heard about this. And he's saying that he's Moor in the mental spot. He ain't worried about what they're doing to him or whatever like that, and they'll, classify him as whatever. He says that he's Moor. He tells them that he's Moor. I called the place. Just same stuff with you. I call a madhouse to go talk to one of the patients in there, and they're gonna give him the message, and then he's gonna call back. He has a cell phone or whatever like that. He could text me in the madhouse, right? Zodiac Constitution by C.M. Bay, Library of Congress, Washington, D.C. Article 7. Article 7. The Moorish Americans' freedom and legal in the Christian Union courtroom. In the Christian Union courtroom, the Moors cannot be forced to remove their red fez from their heads, nor can they be forced to raise their hand and take an oath over the Christian Bible. Neither can Moors, the Bays and the L's, employ white or Negro lawyers to represent them. The reason for this is that white people, quote-unquote, and their quote-unquote Negro slaves definitely cannot represent free Moorish Americans. The Negro is the property of the Union slaveholders. The Moors must respect the court by saying, "I affirm." Here the court has no jurisdiction over them, which automatically makes them qualified to defend themselves by their Zodiac Constitution law and their mathematical number 9. The number 9 corresponds with the letter I, based on the 9 months from conception to birth, which makes you yourself the great I am, the first and the highest law of self-protection and self-preservation in harmony with your Zodiac 12 signs unchanged constitution moral law of 360 degrees squared by your number 9. The Moorish Zodiac Constitution is referred to in Christian mythology as the Holy Quran or Al-Quran, meaning the earth, the moon, the sun, and the 7 planets, or the chronology, zodiac record of the Moorish nation of the North Gate, North America. The name Muhammad, prophet, religion, God, church, temple, and mosque were established by the Dutch Anglo-Saxon priesthood Franciscan fathers of North who overthrew the Moorish Society of Islam between 1789 and the Union of 1863. The Moors, the Bays, and the L's must never attempt to teach or lecture in the Christian institutions, namely church, temple, mosque, school, and hall. This is a violation of the Union, Society, States, Right, Magna Charta, Code of Mary and Christ. The truth of the Moorish Zodiac Constitution law and moral human principles definitely conflicts with the Christian Union customs and doctrine of the Magna Carta from every angle. Nor do not criticize the white people, quote-unquote, belief in the religion of their sun and woman image. Nor do not ever attempt to influence the quote-unquote white people to accept the moral truth and principles of your 12 signs zodiac constitutional law, because the Magna Carta is a Latin phrase meaning magnate charta of quote-unquote white people's economic and social attraction only, which had its beginning in the colonies of Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, and Illinois in 1848 and 1854. If the lawmakers of the 50 Union State Society of North America should attempt to ignore the Moorish American zodiac law and birthrights of this Constitution, it would be an act of supreme violation of their own Magna Charta Code. Wa alaikum assalam. So we have a obligation, yes, to go get our people. But you are not, take it from me, you are not going to go out there and convince somebody that does not want to be convinced. Like, you will talk till you're blue.
And in fact, part of I think that you're wasting your time and spending yourself.
Bringing yourself into the light. No, but you're saying that we have to get people. So you didn't say that we have to get people? So what did she say?
Okay, so I'm going to use an example, and I can only use that example because it's what we're doing. So,
Who's there?
Aboriginals, so the Aboriginals, using this medium, which is TV, they see one thing. And what they are, they're letting people know if they're in business, what they have access to. So what I'm saying is marketing, if you as your tenant, so this is your tenant, and I know you can say we, so if you're using that medium and you have Moorish know your rights, and you have, like for instance, the YouTube, and the person at oh, I can get information. That's a kickstart. That's simple. That's what I meant. So it's not as if I'm saying you have to go out and blow it up. You have different avenues to do it as a market. And if it's just as simple as something that says Moorish American, using the fact because that's the tradition. If people gravitate to that, have to sit down with this lady was conducting meetings with somebody else. I don't think she heard that lady. The lady walked in, they all she did.
She was new to her, and she was trying to listen to the whole conversation.
She never took her eyes off her. She was curious. So that's what I mean by marketing. You have something so experience, Moorish American, know your rights, and you have that beautiful lady because you said that. Yeah. And all you did was have your rights. I didn't say it. I bought this with.
Yeah, no.
It's an association. It's curiosity.
Right. But the point that I'm making is that that's you to do that. How about you create the marketing platform that you're talking about, and then you say Amari Kudrow, I have idea or whatever like that, and present it.
Need a confirmation.
No, but understand that you're not doing it for us to give you permission or whatever to go do that. You're doing that because regardless whether I say yeah or no, you're still gonna go do that because as a marketer, if that's what your expertise is, you know what what it entails.
However, at the same time, what I said,
You don't have the knowledge.
I don't have a lot of knowledge. However, if I came to you because I would listen to you and I have been saying, you know what, you blow my mind with your knowledge, and then again, you just confirm a whole lot of what you have been doing and how people kick you down while you were trying to show the information. And if I came to you and I said, listen, that's the idea that I just told you, and I said, what do you think? And you say, okay, so now you're saying, okay, go use this or use this, and you're going to say, okay. Because when Secretary, okay, sorry,
It's all good.
I get my email from him. When I said what I said, and I noticed he always stuff, and he said, okay, look at this, let's tie it together. I said, okay, so now I can't do that because you have to work within this scope. You have me on. So I don't want to put something out there and they're going to say, oh my God, what is that? What I can, I keep saying, but she's going to. Yeah, once you get here, she's so you know what I'm going to do? Let me do this for you. It was a box. and I'm going to. No. You have to allow me.
Okay, go ahead.
It was a thought, was based on my skill set and business acumen and knowing the straw man and knowing how that excuse you and you are done with that straw man because I have some knowledge of that. And based on what I teach the people today, it's not the truth. And I'm gonna say no. But I disagree with you. No. You have to let me say why I disagree.
So, let him talk.
Because see that gentleman who did what he did and he was able to connect to those people? Can you imagine if other people were able to get that information without waiting for somebody to walk up with knowledge? When you're able to get that information from here and you're able to say, oh, look, I'm 75 and 75 is on evidence. And that 75, remember when you need information, you can walk in that way because there's this powerhouse in here. That gentleman had a whole lot of knowledge walking with him, but maybe in Toronto, people are not aware that there is a spot. I have known him, I have known I have been in school for 3 years, and until he connected with my daughter based on a platform, and I'm going to say that, it was a platform that brought them together. She never had that. So that's what I'm trying to say. It can be in a big school or a little school. I don't have the knowledge, but I'm aware of the tools.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. That motivation, and that's what I'm saying. That it's not about. Okay, put it like this. The key, the most that you have to know for real, being bluntly honest with you, is that you're not Negro, black, colored. Once you know that, that's 95% of the lesson. The other 5%, you find it on your own whenever you find it out, because the information is out there. We're in the Aquarian age right now. The Aquarian age means that we're in the constellation of Aquarius. We're going to be there for 2,600 years. We're going to be in this, right? What is Aquarius? Aquarius is a man holding a pitcher, right, and pouring out water, right? Water is knowledge. So in this age of Aquarius, you are going to be flooded with information. You're going to have so much information that you have access to that you don't even know what to do with it. You're going to have so much information. You don't have a choice in the matter of knowing yourself in this age and time if that's what you want to do. You could just know that you're not Negro, black, colored and stop there. There's going to be so much information after you come to that realization that you're not Negro, black, colored. So much stuff is going to be flooding you that you're going to drown in information. Your life jacket, raft, boat, or whatever is not going to stop you from drowning in information. But it's all up to you whether you take the information and do something with it or not do anything with it. Regardless, you're going to be flooded by info. You're going to be flooded. So our position is, if there's an individual that has a particular expertise, right? If somebody's a carpenter, right? And they know about carpentry, right? For example, Brother Jedias in North Carolina, all his life, been a carver. All his life he's been a carver. Making all this Egyptian stuff, like, you know what I mean? Like stuff you could mount on your wall and stuff like that. Building cabinets, bed, cupboards, whatever. He came into Moorish science. Well, I gotta wait until, you know what I mean? He took his skill that he knew and he applied it to Moorish science. Because what else is he gonna do? He's not gonna stop being a carpenter because he's a Moor and then it conflicts because of whatever. He just took, and then as he's applying what he knows to more science, he's growing because he's learning while he's applying his craft to Moorish science. And now you go see stuff that he's carving now, and it puts all that other stuff that he did to shame. Because now he's doing it with the right concept in his mind. He's doing it with a Moorish mindset, not a Negro black colored mindset. You take marketing and you apply a Moorish mindset to marketing, you're not only doing stuff for us or whatever. Like I said, we got people in Texas. We got people in UK. There might be a guy out there who, you know what I mean, has something to market and has no way to even get this, whatever he has that's beneficial to the community out there. But now, since we did this, which is online, bet you, we're going to get some individual from this that's going to say, yo, you know the sister with the marketing or whatever like that? What's her number? Let me your email or whatever like that. Let me contact her because I have a whatever that I need to market. And they're not going to care about how much years you in this information, how long you've been studying, whatever. All they're going to care about is, you're more, right? Yeah, you're more. All right, let's do this. Let's get this work done. And they'll do whatever it is that they feel to do in order to use the skill set or the quote-unquote service that you have to offer. Guaranteed. So it's not, a negative or you're not ready yet or whatever like that. You need to wait till you're ready. Wait. Like you said, if it's urgency, you got to look at it as it's urgent. Not the people who don't have the skill set. The people who have the skill set have to urgently apply whatever their knowledge they have to more science and run in whatever direction that you want to run because it's really your birthright.
Yeah, I see this. What's beautiful is your journey right now, all gone through that. Trust me, you're not alone, you're not by yourself, you've all gone through that. I was at a point where it's like, well, I want everyone to rush here and hear this information because you had that case, and trust me, this will fix it. And I told them that, and they still went the other route. They paid the money. Like, some people don't want this information. So all this energy that you trying to create, that urgency, it might be a waste of energy. You know? Without saying you can't do it, but when you study and get this information for yourself, when you become the source, because who's just not the source? You are the source. When you become that source, things happen through you. Because you are a woman, a mother. He's a male, a man. There's something you can do that he can't do. So when you manifest that within yourself, you're surprised at what manifests, what opens up. All because you took the time to look at information that you didn't look at, and you're like, yo, that's what I found, man. Look what I found. All because you are a marketer. And all that will work with you. And don't let time is an illusion. Time, age, whatever, it's all an illusion. It's all for business purposes. If you're 55 years old, okay, you can retire. Oh, guess what? We bumped up another 10 years. Yeah, wait another 10 more years. All that's an illusion until you believe of a great system. So again, don't let the urgency happen. There is no urgency. Whatever's going for you, that's what time is. It's you. You are time. Believe me when I say that you are time. And I understand. Trust me. I understand what you feel. But don't let the feeling dictate your actions. Let the logic dictate actions. By looking at the information and doing what you need to do.
The word like shaking, that's how shaking was too. And I said, shaking, like I would come and see because he had this urgency. And then I went and go study for myself. Now he doesn't have to tell me to come and see because I'm here to see for myself. So I hear what the sister is saying. But what we just saying, once you study, oh my, the world is open to you.
Actually, time slows down, Michelle.
Yeah, it's true. It's
true.
true.
And you feel like you're superhuman. Like honestly, literally, like I'm doing stuff and just someone's gonna fall off the counter and I catch it. That's the physical example of how things slow down. I'm letting you know everything changes for you. Everything changes for you. Okay? This thing here is really deep. And it's like things just click in you and something different manifests out of you. It happens different for different people, but believe me, something will change in you when you start studying and doing your own stuff, and it's amazing. And I can't force that on anybody. When they have a eureka moment, it's like, wow, I can't believe I did that.
It's like well, chemically imbalanced, and that's we, like Dan said, basically, no, you slow these types of like a line, and you literally feel that, and then it hits
And
And maybe her vibration was sent to her as a marker, and then maybe she's gonna set that vibration as well. That's what she's applying. Skill
Yeah.
set. So that's your vibration and your source.
everybody,
So, and then if you, and as you work as a collective to help you, commercially, you ask for the future whatever.
Because I will work with you too, because that energy. Remember what that was
Yeah,
saying?
what do we-
That there was they're gonna be, remember the last time I was here, I said we're gonna come to another conscious of what we're supposed to do.
Right.
And even as though she walking at a
It's another
higher
level,
level.
yeah,
Remember we
another
said a
level.
higher level. We're
It's
coming to a higher
constant.
level.
It's constant graduation.
Yeah, graduation.
Constant graduation. There's no reach a level and then okay, yeah, you know, we can chill and you know we'll relax on this like this is constant every day, every minute, every second. Something is changing once you're on this level of information, right? And like Shakim says, it's accelerated, but at the same time it's slowed down.
No.
You know, there's urgency that there's no time, but then you know we kind of have all the time in the world really when we look at it from different perspectives. You know what I mean? And everybody's perspective is part of the expansion.
That's right.
So there's no, like we might bring up the thing with we can't be doing certain things or whatever like that. But you know, if we get calls, we'll go to an event. We're not gonna go to an event and set up or whatever like that and whatever just to have stuff on the table. Nobody comes support or whatever like that. But we were there. But then if we get a call and somebody says, yo, people who are going to be coming to this, they're going to want the information or whatever. We want you guys to come set up your table, blah, blah. No problem, we'll be there. It's not an issue. Because we understand that we have to get the information out to the people. We're not against getting the information out to the people. But we're not gonna just exert energy, you know what I mean, just because we have it. You know what I mean? I'd rather take my energy and channel it towards something that's gonna come out of something. Not just channel. There's ample amounts of events that we went to that we set up, whatever like that, and all people do, they just want to come, build, talk, whatever like that, and then they go about their business. And then that's it. And they were like, well, what do we could have had class today. You know what I mean? We're sitting here with these people. You know what I mean? We could have actually been doing something with our energy. You know what I mean? We just wanted to touch on, there was one, actually, there was one question. Islam, GS, and all the Moors in Canaanland. Praise Allah for the Prophet and righteous Moors. Question is, being that Noble Juali is an Egyptian adept and taught that we are spirit man, what were the classes and meetings with the Prophet centered around? So if you go back and you read Divine Warning by the Prophet to the nations, Divine Warning by the Prophet to the nations is the instructions for the Moors. And majority of the message in the Divine Warning is bringing the people back into the constitutional fold, getting people to change their mindset so that they can change their conditions. Because they're not going to change out there until here is correct. Nothing's going to happen out there as far as a change in society until here changes. So as Negro, black, color people, we complain about all these issues. As Moors, issues get dealt with. They don't complaining anymore about trying to fix, trying to whatever. Issues get dealt with. As they present themselves, they get dealt with. Letter comes in the mail, deal with it. Policy enforcers stop you so that, deal with it. There's no trying to figure out. Matters get dealt with. And the only way that we are going to be able to deal with things is if we take the time for ourselves to know. Because like the brother said, Juali taught us that we're spirit man. Man is spirit, not the flesh. So if we're looking at ourselves as, this is myself, we're already off track. Because man is spirit first. Right?
It's not that this is not myself, because that's actually what that is. It's myself, but I am within myself.
Right. Right. So right. So like when you like, let's say you engage somebody and you're having a hard time getting them to receive, what you actually want to do is get them that's inside of themselves to step out of the body and help you get the body to get down what the spirit is supposed to be doing. Right? Because we can relate to their spirit. Just like with Brother Sheldon. All these individuals who recognize, oh yeah, you're a Moor and that's a fez that you're wearing or whatever. Those are spirit people. Those aren't beings in flesh that see a guy with a fez on. Those are beings that they have some ancient thing inside them that they recognize him before he even started talking or whatever. Once we get ourselves back to, that's why Juali continually did the study. Study, make sure you study, because once you change your mind frame, you change the vibrations around you changes. You know what I mean? You might just happen, just like Shakim said, thing falls, and you might just do like that and realize that you caught it. You might go like this one day and you go through a wall. and only because you catch yourself, oh, I just went through the wall, that you pull back and then you try to do it again and then now the wall's there. Right? Because it's really about vibration, changing the vibration. Once you change the vibration, you change what's going around. I'm sure there were Moors who were able to grasp the concept of nationality and lineage without constant repetition and were able to understand higher frequencies. So I am curious as to what those lessons may have consisted of. Goes back again to what Juali brought. Juali brought 101 questionnaire, which is really a encyclopedia, that if you study that, it's going to take you so far into metaphysics and all this type of stuff that you'll be able to grasp the concept of nationality without this repetitive, you know what I mean? But like I was telling somebody the other day, they were saying, Taj is so deep and it's amazing, whatever, because every time I watch him, I learn something. I'm like, you know that he always says the same stuff over and over again? You get that he's not taking you to any advanced levels of Moorish science? Like he's talking on the lowest basic level all the time? And there's levels in Moorish science, like we were talking about, that people could just use their mind with each other and make stuff come out of thin air. It's that deep. But people have to get there. And we'll only get there, right? The only way that we'll get there is by us accepting the information, right? And embracing the information, because it is ours. And once we accept it as it's ours, now it's a whole different thing now. It's not something that you're being put onto. It's actually your information it's your trunk that you're opening and you're like, oh my gosh, all the jewels and diamonds, it's your stuff. right? Claiming it back, right? Was there any questions before we close out? Anybody have any more questions? Oh yeah, the town hall immediately. We're having the first Moorish town hall meeting, which is going to be on the 31st of May, 2467 31st. 2467 Eglinton Avenue East, which is at Don Montgomery Community Center. The town hall meeting is going to be for people to meet the heads of the temple, any questions that they have, speak a little bit about what this is about, what perspective, what the perspective is that we are presenting, what we're trying to do. It's open to the public. Anybody can come. If you want to, put the mayor on, tell him come. If you want to put chief of police, whoever like that, invite whoever. We have the space available to accommodate whatever amount of people come. It's at 2 o'clock, 2 p.m.
What was the address again, brother?
2467 Eglinton Avenue East at Don Montgomery Community Center. And we'll more than likely have some signs up and stuff like that, or you can just ask the reception. They'll lead you to the room.
What was the closest intersection?
Kennedy and Midland. Yeah, Kennedy and Midland. Yeah. It's right at Kennedy. You can walk from Kennedy Station. Yeah. Yeah.
One of the signs of the community center.
And as well, people if there's people that are coming from different jurisdictions, connect with the Moors, because there's a lot of Moors out here that have travel mode of conveyance. So carpool. Yeah. There's more that live in Brampton and all. Right? Anybody have any closing remarks or comments or anything like that before we close out?
I guess I have a little awakening. Toronto used to be called Old York, right?
Yeah.
Back in the days. Think about this, okay? In Toronto, we have North York. The old Toronto is called Old York. Below us is New York. You know what I'm saying? And there's North York, Old York, and New York. So all one landmass. They were all one landmass, so we have different names, you know? So that's it.
Islam. Everybody good? Clear? All right. Let's just close out. Five on the left, two on the right. Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
Father of love.
Father of love.
Truth. Peace. Freedom. And justice. Allah is my protector.
Allah is my protector.
My guide. And my salvation. By night. And by day. His holy prophet. Noble Drew Ali. Ashe. Islam. Everybody signed attendance? Yeah.